Aloha, it's CreativeNameToStandOut again with another battle report. This time I'm bringing you an Escalation themed game. It's going to be at 1,000 points between the Pyre Legion and the Empire forces. Now this is the second time we played at 1,000 points. The next time I post a battle report in this series it will be at 1250. Leading up to this point, if you've been paying attention to this series, you probably already know that the Chaos Forces have handed the Empire a series of defeats. And so in this game we wanted to kind of incorporate a storyline. Maybe more, you could probably call it more of a consequence-related dynamic to the game. So what we're saying here is that skirmishes have led the Empire forces to be pushed back to a settlement that the Chaos forces have been converging upon, and that the pivotal objective in this game will be to defend the settlement. So if the Empire forces are successful in defending the settlement, they will receive reinforcements in the form of 125 free points in core in our next game. However, if they do lose and fold like the cowards they are, then the Chaos forces will pillage the village, and sorry, I like rhymes. And then Kekus, the Pyromancer, will receive 40 free points in extra bonuses, like he'll get his Mark of Zintra free and his Chaos mutations and powers. So that's what's on the line. Let's look at deployment. So starting on my opponent's right flank, we have 5 Pistoliers. In the center we have the large unit of handgunners with the BSB. On the flanks of the handgunners are its detachments, the 5 spearmen, and one of the units is in that dice box, which will be a really ghetto building. On the left flank we have the the small unit of great swords with Benito the Coward and its two detachments, which are archers, and then finally on the hill we have a great cannon. Alright, so here we are in Chaos deployment. Starting on the right side we have 5 Chaos Warhounds. Then we have 16 Chaos Warriors with Kekus the Pyromancer, then 3 Dragon Ogres. Following that we have 5 more Chaos Warhounds, and finally on the left flank we have 3 Dragon Ogres. In Vanguards we have the Pistoliers moving up, as you can see in this picture. Then we have my Warhounds on the far left flank move up. And then finally, unfortunately, the Pistoliers keep these Warhounds from moving, so I'm going to keep them put. They'll allow them to charge first turn if I wish. And then we go ahead and roll to see who gets first turn, and luckily the Chaos Warriors get it. So here we go, Chaos Warriors, turn 1. Alright, so the first thing I do is declare a charge with my Dragon Ogres at the Pistoliers. I push them away, but I don't catch them. On the left side, I move my dogs just out of short range, pressuring these archers. So he's going to get 1 shooting attack, and then I'm going to just get right into him. As far as across the board, I just kind of push him everything up forward. He has a very shooty army. Unfortunately, it's not a very threatening shooty army, so he's going to get 1 round of shooting, do some minor wounds, and then I'm going to get in there and probably wipe him off the board. So that's game plan, and we move into Magic. So as far as the Magic game plan is concerned, my Sorcerer is pretty much a living artillery piece. I can cast spells and destroy his close combat units, but at the end of the day, I'm indifferent. I feel like I can take him on in close combat, so if I get off spells, I get off spells. I do get Firestorm off, but it does drift away, so there is no real benefit from Magic this turn, but it's not a big deal, and that's pretty much the end of my turn with no shooting, and we go into Empire turn 1. Alright, so Empire turn 1 is going to be very short because he has 0 movement. He goes to rally his Pistoliers, and he does not do it. We go into the Magic phase, and I'm pretty indifferent about Magic. I don't expect to be in combat with his great swords, so I let his Shield of Faith go, and then I just dispel Hammer Sigmar because I can. We go into the shooting phase, and his handgunners put 2 wounds on my Dragon Ogres. His archers let loose and kill 1 dog. And then his cannon opens up but rolls a 1 to wound. So that's pretty much it for Empire turn 1. I expect this to be over pretty quickly, but let's see what happens. Alright, in Chaos turn 1, I declare a charge of the Dragon Ogres into the handgunners on the fence. They stand and shoot, and they actually hit and wound a bunch of times, killing a whole Dragon Ogre and transferring 2 wounds to the other. This causes a break check, and they promptly fail, and this is a pretty bad thing to happen. But we carry on. The Warhounds charge the Spearmen in the shack. The other unit of Warhounds charged into the archers, and then I start moving my other Dragon Ogres to replace with the other Dragon Ogres that just fled. I also move the Chaos Warriors to keep the great swords in the front arc and continue to advance towards them, and then we jump into the Magic phase. We go into Warriors of Chaos turn 2's Magic phase, and I get off all my spells, but unfortunately the Bolt of Change doesn't do any wounds at all, and then when I cast Blue Fire I do 2 wounds to the great swords, but they also get regen. So we jump into combat, and I forgot that when the priest gets off one of the spells, it goes to its detachment. So I probably should have played better when I was trying to dispel those spells. So we go into that combat, and as you can see here already, the archers easily defeat my dogs, and he breaks. The last one breaks, and he will not rally. And then over on the other side, there is no buffs on these spearmen, but I just can't do anything to them, and he beats my dogs, and I'm forced out. In Empire turn 2, my opponent declares a charge with these 5 spearmen at my dragon ogres, and it causes them to flee. This is absolutely fantastically absurd, but that's what happens. And then over here we have the 4 archers charge the warhound, and it continues to get closer to the board edge. Alright, we go into Empire turn 2 magic, and now I am about to get into close combat with those great swords, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop everything, and I'm pretty successful at that. Then we go into the shooting phase, and he unleashes his cannon into my Chaos Warriors, and he kills 2 of them. We then go over to the handgunners, and they shoot over the wall at my dragon ogres, and this time they can only do 1 wound, so I'm happy to see that. So this is a picture of the Sinister statue that's on our board here. At the beginning of every turn, you're supposed to roll for every unit within 6 inches, and on a 4-up, he gets hit with D6 Strength 4 hits. So surprisingly enough, we're in turn 3 and none of us have any victory points, so I guess the Sinister statue decided to help us both out, and it kills his archers and my warhound that was, nearby, and it also kills 2 of my warriors. So it goes on a killing rampage. I guess it was fed up with our incompetence, and we continue on with my turn. So I do have a lot of charges this turn declared. The dragon ogres will go into the handgunners. I chicken out on the charge of the great swords and decide to charge the spearmen instead. And so this is what happens after I declare the charges. I do make it into both units, and hopefully I'll get a good overrun afterwards. I then lastly charge the warhounds into the spearmen. Hopefully this time it'll go a little bit better for me. My dragon ogres have an epiphany and realize they shouldn't be running away from spearmen, and they rally. So we would have a magic phase, but all my spells are direct damage or magic missiles, and nothing's in my front arc, so we go ahead and jump into combat. We start with the Chaos Warhounds in with the spearmen. I kill one of the spearmen. They are still stubborn, but thankfully they still break. We move on to the real combat, where the Chaos Warriors totally cream these 5 spearmen. They didn't have a chance. We're looking to overrun. I only need a 4 to actually make it to the handgunners, and I roll a 3. So it looks like I'm pretty close. I should be a little bit further away from the fence, but I did not make it. We move over to the Dragon Ogres themselves, and he is able to kill one of my Dragon Ogres before I even strike, which really stinks. I'm not able to generate enough combat res to actually win the combat. I do stick. However, he reforms so that if he does win next turn, because he is going to generate some more combat res, if he overruns, he won't run into the Chaos Warriors. So things are not looking good right now, and we'll see how it develops later. Alright, so the Empire Pistoliers rally at the beginning of their turn, and so do the Spearmen by the shack. We jump straight into the magic phase, and it's 4 dice to 2. He goes for Hammer of Sigmar, and he successfully gets it. We go into the shooting phase after that. His archers are able to kill one of my Chaos Warriors. He goes to shoot his cannon at my Dragon Ogres and misfires. And then we go straight into combat. So this is where it matters. He has these extra ranks and extra combat res. We get into combat. I'm able to kill his BSB, but otherwise I can't generate enough combat res. I lose, I break, and he runs me down. And this is what it looks like at the end of the turn. So we go into Warriors of Chaos turn 4, and I don't want to make this charge because I don't want to take any unnecessary wounds from a stand and shoot, so I just move him up real far. Then we go over here, and I charge the archers in the flank, and they flee. And then I think I could not see the great swords at the time, so I just stayed as is. We go into Chaos Magic phase number 4, and it's just one of those phases where I get everything I want off, but all the spells just don't deliver. I either just fail the wound, Fire Blast I believe shifts off its target, and I believe Bolt of Change does do wounds, yeah, to this cannon, and but I give it regen. So I kill 2 of the guys and then give it regen. We go into Empire turn 5, and my opponent's getting cocky with all of his good fortune here, and he charges his great swords into my Chaos Warriors. I'm happy with that. I think he's going to lose. We go to the archers to see if they rally, but they don't, and now they're sitting on the table. And then we finally go over to see where else he moves, and I think it's just these Pistoliers here. He moves to get some shots off on the Chaos Warhounds. In a surprise show of faith, Benita the Coward calls upon the god Sigmar to bless him and his troops, and sure enough, the Shield of Faith goes off. we see the handgunners open up on the Dragon Ogres, and unfortunately they're able to kill the already wounded Dragon Ogre. We step over to the Pistoliers. They open fire and kill 2 of the Warhounds, so we're down to 1 there, but he does not break. And then we go into the combat here between the Chaos Warriors and the Empire Greatswords. And I'm feeling pretty confident about this. I think I outmatch him by a lot. We get into a challenge situation between Benito and Kekus. And this is what happens. I don't do any wounds to Benito. He does none to me, and we don't really kill too many of each other, which was really surprising considering that I'm pretty much death incarnate compared to these guys. And so it's I think it ends up being a loss for the Empire, and uncharacteristically, my opponent passes his break test. Alright, so we'll go into Warriors of Chaos turn 5. Who really thought we were going to go to turn 5 on this? But yep, we're in turn 5. I declare a charge with this Dragon Ogre and that Warhound into the handgunner unit. I take 3 wounds going into it from the stand and shoot, and but I do make it with both units. And then I go ahead and I just skip the magic phase. I feel like I haven't done anything all game, and I'm just asking to miscast and lose my general. So I'm going to skip it, and we're going to go straight into combat. So the first combat we go to resolve is the one I'm a little bit more optimistic about. We're still in a challenge with the Benito and his Hellstrom Mace and Kekus, the Pyromancer. I managed to do 1 wound to him. I also managed to dodge that mace, and as far as the rest of the combat goes, I demolish him. He does have 1 greatsword left, which means he is stubborn, but he still breaks, and I run him down. So that's a good pickup there, and I'm right in front of the cannon. In the other combat, it pretty much goes as you're probably expecting it to. My Dragon Ogre dies before he gets to swing, since he only has 1 wound left, and the Warhound can't stick with it, and he flees, but luckily he gets away. Alright, so we go into Empire turn 5. It's pretty much going to be a shooting gallery. He's going to shoot one of my Chaos Warriors in the back with his Pistoliers. These handgunners are playing a little bit of Oregon Trail, and they're going to kill my Warhound. We're going to go over to the best part of the game. His cannon shoots off its shrapnel shot and kills a ton of my Chaos Warriors. This, of course, makes perfect sense, causes me to roll boxcars. They break. And then this picture shows me in turn 6 continuing to flee because I can't rally. And it will also show that you probably see what's going to happen next. I don't have a picture of what happened next, but there you see the Pistoliers right there, close to the fleeing Chaos Warriors. He's going to charge them and push them off the board. So that pretty much ends the game in this last little picture. And wow, it's not the way I was really expecting it to go. I thought I was going to definitely walk away pretty much the winner when I saw his army list. I thought it was very soft, and I was very surprised by how it played out. But it was a ton of fun, and I especially like that last part where he just shoots me point blank with that cannon. So it was a lot of fun. I think one thing that I can take away from this game, if I've not mentioned it before, I guess I'll mention it here. Dragon Ogres are very underwhelming. There's definitely a ton of other things in the book that can do what they do way better for cheaper, yada yada. But I really enjoy the models. I think they're fantastic looking models. I'm going to continue to use them. I will probably never use them in small groupings again. Probably will just keep them 6 strong. That's what I was planning to do anyways. I just thought I would try them in units of 3 this game. They can take on monsters. They're good at taking a heavy cav. Not so good at taking out infantry. If I hit them in the flank, if I use them as support, they're pretty good. They are a big points waste though, I recognize that, but I really do like the models, so I'm going to continue to use them. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed this battle report. I do appreciate everybody's likes and comments and subscriptions, and I'll have another one up pretty soon.